So I've only listened to one of your podcasts, like I said, but like, has that ever gotten you into trouble? Just like going off the top of your head, have you ever been like editing and been like, oh, I shouldn't have done that?
I've actually funny and there was like I don't know. I don't think I've really had to edit like honestly too much out of like anything. I
Mm,
mean, like there's obviously like some jokes where like you're like, I don't know. Like because like
yeah,
I'm big on like I mean, I hate cancel culture. Like
yeah,
cancel
yeah,
culture is the
yeah, for
dumbest
sure.
shit ever. Like I get for some stuff, like it makes sense. Like if people do like horrible shit or
Yeah,
whatever, it's like, okay, that's fair. But like I think if as long as you're and a lot of people probably don't love this, but like if you're making a joke or whatever
mm,
and your intention is to joke about that thing,
yeah,
like pretty much everything's on the table,
yeah,
because otherwise if you get to a point, and I know like just comedians I listen to like say it all the time, like if comedy ever gets to a point where like you have to like tiptoe around stuff, it's not comedy anymore and
mm,
it's not where it's supposed to be, and like you
yeah,
need to push the envelope, because if you don't, then no one will.
yeah. I agree fully. So there's no argument here. But like, cancel culture is such an interesting thing. Because I've been thinking about this the past couple days. It's like the entertainer kind of gives cancel culture the power. Do you know what I mean? Because if you say something
Yeah, yeah.
controversial, and this I've just been like thinking about all these past cancels. If you say something controversial and then people get mad at you, then what happens? They just get mad at you. Like you don't really lose
Yeah.
anything unless you change something. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I, yeah, I think I know where you're kind of going with that. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, the biggest thing, like you said, like the creator gives the cancel culture like the power, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I think if you were honestly like attempting to make a joke, if
Mm.
someone ever called you out on anything, you could, if like I know, like just how I piece shit together, whatever.
Yeah.
Like if anyone ever said something about anything, I would literally run them through the thought process of how I got there and how
Mm-hmm.
it's meant to only come off as a joke.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things, like if you're offended or whatever, like, it's not, comedy's not perfect. Like there's going to be shit that offends people and
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be things that don't offend you. So laugh at the things that don't offend you and just, kind of just be like, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe I do that. And I am a little bit offended, but if you look at it from the outside looking in, it's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like I feel like for most comedians or influencers, their audience kind of knows what they're about. And so their
Yeah.
audience isn't the one that's offended most of the time. Was that
Yeah,
fair to
most of
say?
the time, no. Yeah, I think that is fair to say, just because I mean, I don't even know. Like, oh, like I think the oh man, I lost it. I don't remember what I was gonna say, but just like any comedian or something that's ever like been canceled for stuff, like
Yeah.
most of the time it's just people on Twitter pissed off for no
Yeah.
reason who have nothing better to
Yeah.
do. It's mainly just a bunch of old angry white people who have nothing better to
Yeah,
do
for
than
sure.
just like cancel people on Twitter. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I don't know what the fuck you're doing here. Like
Yeah.
if you didn't like the joke, turn it off. Like
Yeah.
turn off the Netflix special.
Yeah, so it's like if their audience isn't the one getting offended, then they still have the audience. So why like come out and apologize? I guess that I don't know if that's touchy. Apologize for the stuff that they said if their
I
audience
don't know.
is
I mean, I
still
think it
there.
definitely depends on what
Yeah,
you
for
said.
sure.
Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, there's obviously, like I said before, like, there's things that are, obviously probably to a point where, like,
Logan Paul
that maybe,
probably should have said my bad. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, like you probably, or there's like points where it's like, okay, like that's comedy, and you're just like, you kind of need to like chill out, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's extremes to both sides. Like, there's one extreme where it's like, okay, yeah, maybe that person,
Yeah,
maybe
for
they need to
sure.
chill the fuck out and get
Yeah.
out of the social media for a little bit because they're a fucking problem. But
Yeah.
then there's other people who are literally just their only intention was to make a joke, and some people got a little bit too offended.
Yeah, well, and people will like justify it and stuff and say that this is, racist, sexist, homophobic, whatever you want to say. But then it's like, where does that line kind of end? That's the scary part. Where does that
Yeah, see,
end?
that's the tough thing to kind of
Yeah.
wrap your head around, is like with this cancel culture, and anyone who's ever canceled anybody doesn't know where that line is either. They don't
Yeah.
know. Nobody knows
Hmm.
where that line is, and like that's the thing, is like comedians and anyone who does comedy pushes that line
Hmm.
because that's their fucking job.
Yeah.
And then as soon as some comedians will just push it a little too hard, and then people will be like, oh, I didn't like that, I hate you
Yeah.
now, your career should be ruined.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like I talked about it with actually Justin on his podcast. It's like there's this weird space with cancel culture where it's like you're not getting arrested for anything, like you didn't break the law, but also you can't have a career and you lose everything.
Yeah,
Basically, it's a really
it
weird
is a
space.
it's such a weird, cancel culture is just so weird as a whole, and it's just
Hmm.
it's so negative, honestly,
Yeah,
as a whole. Like it's such a negative space. Like, why? Like, I mean, like, obviously there's, I mean, you know what I know, like, you've seen a comedian, sometimes you'll be like, shit,
yeah,
like, that's exactly what I do, and I do kind of look like a fucking idiot, but you know what, it's a little funny
yeah,
when they say it,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
gonna deal with it.
yeah. Do you ever get like afraid, especially if you're gonna continue to do TikTok stand up? Do you ever like? Do you think you'll ever like dance around, like walk on eggshells with that, or do you think you'll just have no fear?
No,
Do
I
you
mean, I
ever
kind of just,
currently?
I mean, like, I mean, I think I know, I mean, I know where, like, you know, my fans know how I think, and I know where,
Hmm.
like, my morals are. And, like, I know that, like, you know, everything that I've said on TikTok or whatever, like, I'll gladly show it to anybody. Like, I'm not,
Yeah,
like, I'm good. Like, you know,
gotcha. Yeah. It is scary though, dude. I sometimes get a little nervous with the stuff I say because I do like 30 minutes of just rambling after interviews, most podcasts. And I
yeah.
just, your mind goes places. I don't say anything too bad, but it's like I kind of feel like I have to pay attention to what I'm talking about sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely do. I mean, it's just like a lot of times one of those things where it's just like, you know, some jokes that were okay like 15 years ago are now, you know,
Yeah.
an absolute no
Hmm.
like nowadays. So it's just
For
like,
sure.
I don't know. I mean, I think what I do is, you know, I mean, like I said, like I know where my head's at, I know where my morals are. Like I'm not
Yeah.
worried right
Yeah.
now. I mean, I'm not worried about it, and you know, knock on wood,
Yeah.
I'm good. You
Yeah, for
know.
sure. Yep.